Hello and welcome. Today, we're going to pull back the curtain on the world of digital finance, and we're doing it with some incredible insights prepared for us by the experts at My Tax Accountant, a really top-notch UK firm.
Right, so what are we talking about? We're looking at something that honestly affects millions of us, how HMRC is now using some seriously powerful AI to look at every single digital payment in the UK. We're going way beyond your typical bank account here. So, let me just ask you this straight out. Do you get paid through something like PayPal, maybe Stripe, or sell things on Etsy? You probably think that money is just between you and your customer, right? Well, what if I told you there's an invisible partner watching every one of those transactions? That partner is HMRC's AI, and believe me, it sees everything.
So here's the plan. We're going to unpack this whole new digital footprint you have. Then we'll take a peek inside HMRC's AI brain. We'll look at the huge web of data they're tapping into, dive into the new frontier of crypto, and then, most importantly, map out how to stay compliant for 2026 and where to get expert help.
Okay, first things first. Let's bust a myth that so many people still believe in. This idea that any money you make outside of your main job, the stuff that doesn't go straight into your bank account from an employer, is somehow invisible to the taxman. That way of thinking is, frankly, dangerously out of date.
Just look at the difference here. It's night and day. In the old days, HMRC was really just focused on traditional bank transfers and, well, cash. But today, it's a completely different world. Every single time you get paid on PayPal, every sale you make on Vinted, every client that pays you through Stripe, it all creates a permanent, searchable, digital breadcrumb trail that leads right back to you.
So you're probably wondering, how on earth does HMRC connect all of these different digital dots? Well, they have an unbelievably powerful tool to do it. Let's take a look inside the machine.
It's called Connect. And honestly, the best way to think about it is as a digital detective. It's this super smart AI that's constantly sifting through literally billions of bits of data from hundreds of different places. And its only job? To build the complete 360-degree financial picture of every single taxpayer in the UK.
And this is basically how it works step by step. First, it just gathers data, tons and tons of it. We'll get to where from in just a sec. Second, it links all of that financial data to you personally. Third, and this is the really clever bit, it compares the financial life it's seeing with what you've actually declared on your tax return. If there's a mismatch, a discrepancy, boom, it goes straight to step 4. Your file gets flagged for a real person, an investigator, to take a closer look. It's always on, and it never gets tired.
So, this is the really crucial part to understand. Just how wide is this net? I mean, where is this digital detective getting all its clues from? The answer, well, it might just surprise you.
The sheer scale of this is mind-boggling. Of course, you've got the obvious ones like PayPal, Stripe, eBay, and Etsy. Even Vinted is on there. It knows all about your Airbnb income. But here's the real kicker. It even looks at social media. So, if you're a freelance graphic designer in London and you're advertising your services on Instagram, Connect sees that. Now, add in data from the land registry, other government agencies, and even overseas banks, and you start to see this huge interconnected web of your entire financial life. Now, I know what some of you are probably thinking right now. Hang on, what about the trading allowance? And you're right, there is a threshold. You're allowed to earn up to £1,000 from a side hustle or casual work each tax year before you even have to tell HMRC about it. But, and this is a big but, this is where things get a bit tricky.
And here's a brilliant pro tip from the experts at My Tax Accountant. That £1,000 figure, that applies to your total turnover, your gross income, not your profit. So let's say you sell £1,200 worth of handmade jewelry on Etsy, but your materials and fees cost you £1,100. You've only made £100 in profit, right? Doesn't matter. Because your turnover was over the threshold, you are legally required to register for self-assessment. Stay with me. This is exactly where most people go wrong.
Okay, so we've covered the likes of PayPal and Etsy. But what about the new kid on the block? The new financial frontier? Yep, I'm talking about crypto. For ages, it's had this reputation as a kind of digital Wild West, a place with no rules. Well, those days are officially over. HMRC is moving in, and they're moving in fast.
The acronym you really need to know is CARF. It stands for the Crypto Asset Reporting Framework, and trust me, this is a total game changer. It's basically a new global agreement that makes crypto exchanges, no matter where they're based in the world, automatically share your transaction info with tax authorities like HMRC. So that crypto exchange you use that's based in some sunny, far-off country, yeah, it's now reporting all of your activities straight back to the UK. And this timeline just shows you how quickly the walls are closing in. Way back in 2023, HMRC was already shopping for crypto investigation tools. In 2024, they signed deals with special firms that can trace blockchain transactions. By the end of 2025, every crypto provider has to be registered for this new reporting. And then from 2026 onwards, the floodgates open. Full automatic reporting begins. The direction of travel here is crystal clear. Total transparency.
So this brings us to the big question, the one that's probably on your mind right now. With all of this data pouring into the Connect system, what are the specific red flags? You know, the things that make the AI sit up and say, let's take a closer look at this person.
Well, let's break down the most common triggers. The classic one is having a lifestyle that just doesn't add up to your declared income. You know, your tax return says you earn £25,000 a year, but your Instagram is full of photos from 3 luxury holidays. The AI is designed to join those dots. Another huge one is a simple mismatch, what PayPal reports you've received versus what you've put on your tax return. Big crypto sales, undeclared money from overseas, or even just weird, irregular payment patterns can all get your file flagged.
Okay, I know we've laid out some pretty big challenges, and it can feel a bit daunting. But now we're going to pivot to the solution. This isn't about scaring you. It's about empowering you. So let's talk about finding that path to peace of mind by getting compliant for 2026. First, you've got to know the basics. For the 2025/26 tax year, the first £12,570 you earn is completely tax-free. That's your personal allowance. After that, you'll pay the basic rate, which is 20%, on anything you earn up to £50,270. Then, of course, it climbs to 40% and 45% for higher earners. Just getting your head around these key numbers is a massive first.
Now, this next point is absolutely crucial. The experts at My Tax Accountant put it perfectly. They say good records are your best defense. In this new world of AI scrutiny, you have to have an evidence trail. Keep a clear, simple log of every single payment you get and every related expense you have. I don't care how small it is. Because if HMRC ever does ask questions, it's not just about paying the right tax, it's about being able to prove you paid it.
And that brings us to our final and maybe most important point. The digital tax world is way more complex and scrutinized than it's ever been. And look, trying to figure it all out on your own can be incredibly stressful and pretty risky.
You know, getting professional advice isn't a sign of weakness. It's actually a really smart strategic move. A real expert can make sure that you're not only 100% compliant, so no nasty surprises from HMRC's AI, but also that you're being as tax efficient as you can be. You know, claiming all the right expenses and reliefs you're actually entitled to.
For that total peace of mind, you can get in touch with the brilliant team at My Tax Accountant directly. Their phone number is 020-857-8531. Or you can drop them an email at info@mytaxaccountant.co.uk. I'd also really recommend subscribing to their YouTube channel for more updates just like this. And just a quick important disclaimer, everything here is for general guidance. You absolutely must talk to a professional tax advisor before you make any big financial decisions.
So, we'll leave you with one last question to think about. As we're heading into 2026, into this new era of full digital and crypto reporting, are you completely 100% certain that your digital footprint is tax compliant? If there's even a tiny bit of doubt, now is the time to sort it. Thanks so much for joining us.